First, there was Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. It's an absolute classic. And by that I mean, it was an important foundation for the series, but there might be a little weirdness if you look at it with today's eyes. That being said, go try it out for yourself. Oh wait, you can't. But they made a sequel, Fire Emblem Gaiden. This was back in the days when they'd be like, let's make a sequel that's completely different from the original. But it was a fairly real game. There was some weirdness around it, but you know, only their second game, still defining what Fire Emblem even is. Then Fire Emblem Mystery of the Emblem. Whoa, hang on. The first half of this game is the same as the first game. Did you think we wouldn't notice? You're not supposed to get all cash grabbing until later in the video. Then they decided, we're gonna make good games, real good games. So they made Genealogy of the Holy War. Now this is a real ass game, even if half the gameplay is, well, you know. Then you got Thracia. This one is more of a fuck you game. And looking at the cast here, I'm sorry y'all, a lot of these white people kind of look the same to me. But overall, another real game. This guy's out of here. They gotta make new Fire Emblem games. Starting with Fire Emblem The Binding Blade and hello, what's all this then? This is just, we have Fire Emblem 1 at home. Fire Emblem, this is your 6th game? 3 of them are like the same thing? Did you think we wouldn't notice? I noticed. Why doesn't Roy promote until right before like the last chapter? Man, what the hell? Around the same time, there was Smash Bros. Melee, and Smashers were like, hey, swords are cool. Next was Fire Emblem The Blazing Blade. Now this is a real ass game right here. Man, look at this decked out cast. You got Hector, you got Lynn, you got Marcus Zero, you got Raven, you got Canis, you got Punt, you got Lois, you got Hawkeye, you got Jafar, you got Isadora, you got Harkin sometimes. This is such a real ass game, they said, we gotta take this game international to show everyone how much of a real ass game this is. Mr. Worldwide. Then there was Sacred Stones. Whoops, they forgot to put strategy in the strategy game. Because if you have easy access to unlimited resources, it's not much of a strategy game now, is it? This is just a regular RPG, but still a real ass game. But then they said, Path of Radiance! Everything about this game is amazing! Except the speed of the battles if you don't turn the animations off. But anyways, this is the realest game they ever made! Until a few years later, they said, Radiant Dawn! It was kinda hard and not the best balanced, but still a real ass motherfucking game! And maybe the series should have ended here if you ask me. Then Shadow Dragon on the DS. So the first game for a 4th time. The gameplay is good, but the graphics are ass. The new Mystery of the Emblem, Heroes of Light and Shadow. The gameplay is good, but the graphics are ass. But you see, the problem with these games is the Wii sold 1 billion copies, and the DS sold mo billion copies. But these games sold no billion copies. So Nintendo said, Fire Emblem, if you ain't gonna be selling more games, then you ain't gonna be selling more games. Standing on the precipice of destiny, Fire Emblem took a big long look in the mirror and said, I gotta get that Weeaboo money. Fire Emblem Awakening. Awakening? You know, it was pretty different, a bit of a departure from the previous games. Since it could have been the last one for a while, they did a lot of experimentation and had a lower barrier to entry for newcomers while still trying to capture the spirit of the series. And once again, they forgot to put strategy in the strategy game, but overall, I'd still say it was a fairly real-ass game. And this was the first Fire Emblem game that anyone actually bought. It was the first Fire Emblem game Nintendo actually advertised outside of a weird mutton commercial. It did help that this was the 3DS's only game. Hey, cool 3D handheld console, what games you making for it? Games! Awakening was also the first ever Nintendo game to have DLC, so all these Nintendo games that come out now and are half finished and receive free DLC updates later, yeah, you can very indirectly thank Awakening for that. Now Awakening DLC? Awakening DLC? Some of that was the fake ass game, man. What the hell is this stupid ass bullshit? And I'm willing to bet that these ones were the ones that sold the best, since this was the herald of Fire Emblem's fake game era that continued with Fire Emblem Fates. Oh my god, Fates. This is one of the fakest games I've ever played. So many baffling decisions made by real human beings led to this. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Remember that dating aspect that would change one line of dialogue in the ending of older games? Well, that's gonna be the focus now. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Remember how there's a playable character who shows up and goes, I love murder. Murder, murder, murder. My name is initials for murder. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? You can only like this game ironically. Fake game. Hey, Shin Megami Tensei is cool, Fire Emblem is cool, let's make a combo game. Actually, never mind, let's instead do a weird Idolmaster spin-off game where you summon DeviantArt facsimile of Fire Emblem characters as JoJo stands, and it'll be the only Fire Emblem game on Wii U. Fake game. Then they made the mobile gacha game. This is worse than a fake game. It's not even a game. It's a casino for PNGs of anime titties where the skill descriptions are power crept beyond comprehension. The mobile game has also made more money than the entire rest of the Fire Emblem series combined. That's it. Where's the meteor? End it all! But there was still hope. In the middle of a yacht party funded by their gacha blood money, they had a rare moment of clarity.
The prophecy is true.
This isn't right. We used to make good games, real games. What happened to us? You know what would be funny? What if we took that old ass game that nobody played and made it the realest game we ever made? Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia is the realest game they've ever made. Just ignore the terribly written brand new characters. The art design, the music, the story, the gameplay. Well, the gameplay was a remake of a 30-year-old game, so you can't change too much or else it's no longer a remake, but it was still one of the realest games of all time. Nobody bought it, so it's back to anime. No more remakes. Everyone already pirated the old games. Dead! Dead! Dead!
We'll also have launch day DLC that's more expensive than the actual game and announce it before the game even comes out.
Marketing! A few months later, they made Fire Emblem Warriors, a brainless fan-servicey press buttons game where you play as lemons and the only other character with a face turns out to be the bad guy. What a twist! You have characters from across the whole Fire Emblem series of 3 games, and half the roster is from the game that sucks ass. Fake game. Remember when Lyn was a whole character and not just a pair of water balloons beneath a shirt they trot out each year to hit their Q4 sales quota? Okay, what if we made a game that bridges the gap between pandering to weeaboos and having self-respect? I don't know, that sounds kinda hard. And we'll make every character hot and make 2 of every character. That way we can sell each one twice in the mobile game. Shit, that's all you had to say. Fire Emblem 3 Houses. You know, it was unique, had a complex, nuanced story, it was a little repetitive and a little overambitious, had one of the single worst lines of dialogue out of all of these games, and that includes all of Fates, and the game was definitely far from perfect. But you know what? I'd say ultimately, it was a real-ass game. But after seeing all the fan discourse about the game, they realized, okay, it is clear to us that our players cannot handle any sort of morally great characters or plot points. They want to boil down these pages and pages of dialogue and backstory for every character to a one-sentence good or evil description. So you know what? For the next game, we're going back to Green Dragon good, Purple Dragon bad. We made 3.5 routes and some of those fuckers only play one of them over and over? Hey, which FE game should we port to Switch? Port the Love Live one to Switch, and only that one. Remember how 3 Houses tried to have a deep and interesting story? Well, we'll make a new 3 Houses where we throw all of that shit out the window, butcher the writing for all the characters and make the villains cartoonishly evil, remove strategy entirely, and introduce a bunch of mysteries that we're not gonna answer. But no one's gonna notice because we gave everyone fun new outfits. Let's make an anniversary game to celebrate the series, and by that I mean we're gonna take the mobile spin-off spin-off and the Singing JoJo Stand spin-off and combine them into one game, Fire Emblem Heroes 2 Hololive Edition. What's popular with the kids nowadays? VTubers? Let's make every character look like a fucking VTuber. I love how we all knew the original Toothpaste Chan leak was real, because this looks so terrible that no one would fake mock this up and expect anyone to believe it. Modern JRPGs are social experiments to see how much players can gaslight themselves into thinking these stupid ass designs look cool and normal. This is the stranded on a deserted island effect, where on day 1 you're like, that's a coconut, and on day 500 you're like, I'm gonna fuck that coconut. That's how you make your series stand out, by making it look exactly like every other forgettable or predatory anime looking game out there. This game will ship in a gajillion units because animes will buy anything anime. This is the future of Fire Emblem. Gameplay looks fine though. I'll take 10 copies. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe. By the way, I wouldn't take this video too seriously. And today's comment code word is Death of Strategy. Comment Death of Strategy if you made it all the way through the video. And that's it, video's over.